It's your boy, you know the vibes, you know the energy. Samson the bad guy, and we are right here in the local locker room. Yep, you heard me, it's local locker room, and we are back. It's been a while since I've been around, but we're gonna get back to the talk of the town, and it's a lot to talk about. Last time I talked to my man, Coach Darryl Overton, formerly at Freedom, now at Hayfield. Let's get into it. There was a lot going on, man. A lot of investigation pop. We dropped the interview part 1, everything cool. We dropped the interview part 2. All of a sudden, investigations come out of the woodworks. And I told y'all the last time I talked about the situation that my guy is starting to be like Nicky Barnes, bro. They keep coming after my mans. The only difference is with that comparison is he's not doing nothing wrong. We can assume. And when I say we, I mean society. People can assume that he is. People can say that he is. But you got to prove that he is. And let's keep it real. Investigation after investigation after investigation, he's been no founding. No founding means they haven't found nothing wrong. For those that don't know what no founding means, it means they haven't found nothing wrong. Time after time after time. Now, we all know that when this situation first went down, there was 100 articles. I mean, article after article after article. I even caught flack when I did a talk of a town about the article, and I pointed out its inconsistencies. I pointed out the things that was wrong with the article. I point out the things that was wrong because I knew what was going on behind closed doors. I was in the need to know. So I was pointing out the things that just didn't match up. The math wasn't mathing. I'm over here, I'm scratching my head, and I'm trying to work it out like the teachers used to say, and I'm trying to solve the problem, but the math wasn't mathing. I pointed that out. Oh, I get ridiculed. I get kickback. They put me in their articles. So me being who I am, I go on the post. Hey, don't put words in my mouth. Don't use my name without letting me know. Like, what are we talking about? Don't act like we cool when you ain't never talked to me. So they both hit me up. Hey, we would like to talk to you. So I talked to the 2 newspaper writers. I talked to the article people. Oh, they were so adamant. They were so set on getting him. They were so this, that, and the third. They were conversating with me. They were spilling and telling me all kinds of stuff. And the whole time I'm like, okay, yeah, I know he runs the PME Bears. Yeah, I know he coached at Freedom. Like, yeah, I know all of the stuff that was said about him at Freedom. I'm not talking to you about that. What I'm contacting you about is keeping my name out your mouth and letting you know who I am so you don't confuse me with Chad. Buddy, because that's not what I do. I'm not here for that. I'm just here to let you know, keep my name out your mouth. Stop talking about me if you don't know who I am. Stop mentioning me if you don't know the correct person that you're talking about. And again, this has nothing to do with Chad, no shot at Chad. It's just, don't call me Chad. That's what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to talk about none of that other stuff because I don't believe in witch hunts. I don't like it. You didn't investigate this man 100 times. You found absolutely nothing. And now you're continuing to do it. But let's get into the continuing to do it. When I kept telling you folks about part 3, which I still do not have permission to put out, and at this point, I might not even drop part 3. I might even say to hell with part 3. And I might just sit down with my guy and do a whole new one because I'm sure there's some new stuff that he's got to say. You feel me? But let's follow this. The investigation goes on. They're dropping article after article. They went into this man's personal life. And if you go back, I did a live on Facebook a couple weeks ago where I mentioned this briefly. But you started digging into that man's personal life. You started trying to paint this awful picture of him to those that didn't know him. Now, me personally, I say that there's people in Prince William County that egged on the people in Fairfax County. That's my personal opinion. I feel like there's people in Prince William County that didn't like the fact that they could never catch him, if those are the terms they want to use. I think that there's people in Prince William County that was still upset, that didn't like how they moved, that didn't like what they do. And disclaimer, real quick, just because you don't like what somebody does or how they move, don't make it wrong, illegal, or wrong. It doesn't. It just doesn't. So again, I'll go back to what I was saying. I just wanted to put that out there. But because they didn't like it and they couldn't catch him doing something that they didn't deem correct, It wasn't a rule, but something they didn't seem morally correct or ethically correct. They didn't like it, so they continued to go after him year after year after year after year. And everybody talking about freedom shouldn't have let him go. Was it really a let, or did he get tired? Did him and his staff get tired year after year after year of being challenged, accused, allegation after allegation? So when we say they let him go, maybe it's not let. Maybe he just wanted to go. Maybe he just wanted to go. He left here where people were trying to drag his name. Him and majority of his staff now go to Hayfield, and they're carrying that energy or sending that energy over there. And now you got people in Hayfield who their kids didn't want to compete. They felt like their kids was owed certain privileges because they've been there with the program. They were upset because Darryl got the job. Let's keep it real. And I've been waiting to fire these shots off. They're upset because Coach Dio got the job and not one of their coaches got the job. And the reason I say that is because I seen it in one of your own articles, you writers. I seen it in an article's writer whose names I will not say because I'm not going to give you the respect, because you disrespected me by putting my name in something without asking me, 1. 2, you put words in my mouth. And 3, we don't even know each other like that for you to do that. So I'm not going to respect you enough to say your name, but you, as well as the others, know who you are. Now, as I continue on, you parents run to the media over there on that side of town. They run with it because they already had their personal feelings and their personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Their personal thoughts about Coach Dio and his staff prior to them even coming over here. And if you ever conversate with them or you read their articles, they make it very clear what side they're on, which I always thought media was supposed to be unbiased and report the news in an unbiased manner. So for a newspaper itself to allow its editors and its publishers to put out the type of comments and things that they were saying about said coach was kind of weird to me in the first place, because they were making it very clear what side they were on. My issue now, since it's been founded, through it, they said they had an in-house investigation that took place and nothing was founded. They said they had an outside investigation that took place and nothing was founded, and they were cleared. That's the word that was used. Cleared of the allegations, right? Which we know that because we see Coach Darryl and his staff coaching at Hayfield already. They played a game and they won pretty easily. But again, cleared, no founding, right? But yet when you go into these group chats, when you go into these Facebook pages and you're looking for the articles, because now we're looking for the articles, folks. Where's all the writers at now? Do you writers have writer's block? Where's all the articles? I've seen so many people in the comments already saying he was guilty. Society had already deemed him guilty. Already deemed him guilty. It was all in every article. You can see it in the comments. Every Facebook post, you can see it in the comments. They had deemed him guilty. They had deemed him guilty already. Everybody was saying it. Where's that energy now that the professionals, the people that were chosen to do these investigations, and I'm sure they did it thoroughly, where's that same energy now that he's been nothing founded and cleared? Where is that same energy? Where are the same articles? Where are the apologies? Where are the apologies? Because that's what we're looking for now. We're looking for that same energy. Because had he been founded of anything, then I would have came on and said, I was wrong. I would have said I was wrong. I would have apologized to anybody that said that he was doing something wrong. So I think that's what a lot of the supporters for that staff, and the reason I say that staff and not that school is because that staff has faced this at another school. So the supporters of that staff are now looking for the same energy. Where's the articles? There's another article I'm looking for while y'all deciding to write certain articles on certain people, and I don't like to play the race card, but it looks funny. because you're writing all these articles on this staff and this head coach. But I didn't see that same newspaper in that same county write an article about the coach that had been talking to a police officer, and these are public knowledge facts, but the coach that had been talking to the police officer thinking that it was a 15-year-old girl that got arrested. Where's the article about that? While you're writing all these articles, you wrote at least 5 or 6 articles on this situation. Where's the article that you wrote about that? It's a high school football coach breaking a law with real legal ramifications. But you don't write an article about it? I've seen articles about it in other places. I couldn't find it on your website, and I could be wrong. If you can show me where you wrote an article about that situation, which is extremely serious, if you show me where you wrote an article about that situation, then I'll apologize. But I haven't seen it. But I damn sure seen every single article about this staff and this head coach and the illegal recruiting. Legal recruiting. You write many articles about a legal recruiting situation, or quote unquote, as you said it before, scandal, but you're not writing an article about a grown-ass man who's a teacher and a coach texting and planning to meet with a 15-year-old. It just so happened to be an undercover cop. You didn't write an article about that? Wow. That bothers me. So again, we're looking for the same energy. I'm not telling you what to write or what not to write. I'm just looking for the same energy. You get what I'm saying? Can we get the same energy? And before I end this, to the idiot, what's his name? I'm not going to say your name neither, because a couple of people have told me not to entertain you and not give you the energy, but it's just something in me that can't help it. I can't help myself. Because you, slow bus shorty, you decided that you wanted to go into a meeting, a GK, you know who you are. You decided that you wanted to go into a meeting and pretend as if you knew who I was. Obviously, you didn't know who I was, because if you knew who I was, you would have known better than to lie on my name, put words in my mouth, pause, and say that I said something to you when I've never talked to you. I've never had a conversation with you. We know this because, again, if you knew me, you would know that once I found out, this would happen. You don't know me. For you to go into a meeting full of other individuals that don't know me and speak on my name and say that I did certain things without conversating with me, to say that I told you certain things when you've never conversated with me, is wild, insane, mental health behavior. And if you have kids, you shouldn't. If you're around kids, you shouldn't be, because you got mental health issues. To sit in a meeting, as important as this was, to sit in there and make it seem like you had a conversation with an individual and then make it seem like this individual was giving you information is weird mental health behavior, bro. You need to get your life together. I went and did my homework, and shout out to the homies that sent me the DMs that let me know. Also, shout out to the queens, not even the homies. Shout out to the queens that represented and stood up on my behalf. LLR got much love for that. We appreciate that. I got a lot of love for that. I appreciate that. But back to the weirdo Goofy. I went back on Twitter. I did my homework. I know that prior to that meeting, your page was an open page. But after the meeting, you made it a private page. I also noticed that you will not accept my request on Twitter. And I couldn't understand that until I started getting the DMs about the meeting, which I had no clue what was going on. The meeting was going on. I had already knew that there was no founding because, I heard it through the grapevine. Never knew about a meeting. But I go back to your page after I get these DMs because I had seen you going back and forth arguing with people about this whole situation. And I found it weird because I know for a fact, since you want to run your mouth and tell lies about text messages, I know for a fact that there's a text thread where you, sir, used to be a major fan, big supporter of this head coach and staff. Until these allegations came out, and then with no proof, you switched sides. And then all of a sudden, you hated this staff. And then all of a sudden, this coach was a cheater, and this coach was this, and this coach was that. Again, I won't say your name because you don't earn that type of respect for me to make you any type of famous. So I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. You know I got the receipts. I was just on Twitter the other day, yesterday actually, watching individuals call you out, looking for you to keep the same energy you had when you were out here trying to drag this man's name after you once used to uplift his name. Weirdo. Again, you have, sir, mental health issues because you know that you've never talked to me, goofy, not through text message, not on the phone, not face to face. There's only two individuals within the newspaper media or press that I have had a conversation with. And those two are the two that are the reporters that have been doing the article. Not you. Not you at all. So again, next time you decide to speak on me, I strongly suggest you reach out to me or conversate with me prior to putting words in my mouth or lying on me. Goofy. Now, I just gave you your little 15 seconds of fame. You go back into your hole and continue to hide while guys like Coach Darryl Overton and his staff continue to go on and win and do what they do. And I'll continue to go on to talk about goofies from time to time like you. Now, with that being said, man, shout out to Hayfield. Shout out to Coach Overton. Shout out to Jeff. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Coach Chris. Shout out to all the other coaches over there that I didn't mention. Coach TJ. To all the other coaches over there that I don't know that I didn't mention. Shout out to y'all. Good luck this season. I ain't gonna say luck because you've been proving you 2-time back-to-back states. You don't need luck. You guys are good coaches. Your players are good players. You create good players. Shout out to all the young men over there, those that I don't know, as well as those that I know personally, like Juju, like Little Jeff, like Kai, like Kimani. Shout out to all you young men over there, man. I hope y'all have a great season. Again, stop dragging people's names, man. It never comes out good. Facts are always gonna overweight opinions. I'm out.